Welcome to guided practice for 5.2. What we talked about in the teaching video was opposites and absolute value. Let's look at number 1 and number 2. What is the opposite of 0? Kind of a weird question. Opposite of 0 is 0. 0 cannot be negative nor positive, and the opposite of 0 is just 0. Now, number 2 also is a very strange question. What is the opposite of 6? So let's do the first one. 6, the opposite is negative 6. But then it says, what's the opposite of the opposite? And the opposite of negative 6 is 6. So, the opposite of 6 is 6. Okay, let's get on to some different ones here. This is absolute value. Remember, absolute value is how far a number is from 0. So when you see these two lines here, it wants you to give the absolute value for whatever's in there. So negative 5. How far is negative 5 from 0? Well, it's 5 units or 5 spots away from 0. Okay? Now, you can also solve problems with absolute value. The absolute value of 20, how far is 20 away from 0? It's 20, minus the absolute value of negative 3. Well, negative 3 is 3 away from 0, so that one is just 3. 20 minus 3 equals 17. Okay, so we have two more absolute values here, and we're going to add these two absolute values. Absolute value of negative 16. How far is negative 16 from 0? It is 16. Add it to the absolute value of negative 12, and negative 12 is just 12 away. So 16 plus 12 is 28. Okay. How far is a number from 0? That will give you the absolute value. Let's look at 6. A game show contestant lost 15 points. So that'd be like a minus 15. He answered another question incorrectly and lost another 15 points. Okay, so that's another 15 he lost. How many points has he lost total? Okay. Well, if he lost 15 the first time, 15 the next time, he lost a total of 30 points. The absolute value, how you would say that is it's minus 30. He went down minus 30. But you take the absolute value of that and you get 30. So he's 30 points from 0. Okay, number 7. Let's see if we should do this one. How can the absolute value help you understand the size of a quantity? Give an example. Absolute value is all about knowing how much something is in total. And I did, in the teaching video, I gave that example of how far a bird is above sea level and how far a fish is below sea level, so you can get the total distance. You can do that by finding the absolute value of those numbers. So we'll just go with that as a way to understand the size of a quantity. All right, go ahead and go on to the independent practice, page 359, number 1 through 13.